Good evening, and welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the talk show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so called African American didn't find their way to America in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the indigenous one. Tonight's,
Hey,
tonight's topic, everybody say hello to Lisa.
oh, hello. I'm sorry, I got feedback. There we go. Hey, everybody, how you doing?
Gwendolyn, JM Hotep, thank you for being with us tonight. So you know how we do. We just jump right into it. We don't want to do all that, put the icing on the cake first. We just gonna give you the cake.
Everything. You get it all.
Um, one of the things uh, that Lisa feels that's as a group of people that's stopping us or slowing us up from reaching our potential is the power of healing your family. I'm gonna let her talk to you about it because she had a funeral today. She'll talk to you about that. But what we hold on to and how we treat each other and what we think about each other, and when you really think about it, all of it is utter nonsense.
Yeah,
And we carry on these feelings and these things for life.
right.
We die with hating somebody because they wore a pair of your socks in the ninth grade. That's the kind of shit we do.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Lisa, take it away.
Hey, Carrie. Thank you for having me once again.
You always.
Thanks, chat, for tolerating me. Hello, everybody. Halito, Kayuk, and Oseo to all. Um, yeah, this family thing is very real. Like a lot of people have mentioned to me that they're running into barriers just in communicating with their family, whether it's just giving them an understanding of their history or just don't want to deal with them because they just trifling and they got hurt and they mean. Indians are mean. There's a lot of mean. It's a lot of mean ass Indians. I'm just saying.
It
Like,
is.
yeah, I'm just saying. We kind of enjoy it. It's like a sport for us, to kind of, you know, it is what it is. But you can't be thin skinned and really be in the family. You gotta develop some kind of toughness to be in a family, to survive the family. The family's not easy, right? And the thing about us is that we get mad and then we just don't speak for years. We can not speak for years not speaking.
20, 30 years.
And we do that, you know, as if that makes it go away or that makes it better. Like you think you kind of erasing the situation or whatever just by just denying it or ignoring it. You carrying that, seriously, like Erica Badu bag lady shit, that you carrying that shit. Them bags, you carrying them. And your family are very key to all your powers. You know, you don't think these people that are closest to you have an impact on how you vibrate or what the things you can do or in any of that, man, you're confused because it's everything. Everything is about the people you come from and the people you are linked to. Talking about having pathways. I mean, we're talking about blood pathways to the people that actually are you. They are they are you. They're literally you. And so they're literally being you. You have to make an effort to do something to heal yourself. And I'm not saying everybody, you're gonna love everybody, kumbaya everybody, but there's a level of healing for yourself in which you are okay. I know everybody wants to self-preserve, but that's
We can't hear you. Well, She's coming back. She'll be back. Um, one of the things about the family, what she's talking about is, well, yeah, I understand that we're all part of a family and we are all are connected, but sometimes in the family, the family's doing the right thing. Here she go. Here she is. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Oh, okay. So what I was saying is that, we basically we have to make the effort ourselves to heal ourselves. You can't change the people that you have in your family. If they're mean, if they're abusive, whatever they are, if they stingy, if they just, mean spirited, I don't know. But we have to see our part in all these things, right? We have to see that we can be responsible for ourselves and how we process things. Everything's about how you process it and how you actually perceive it, right? If you perceive it that they ain't no good, I ain't gonna be able to take it, I ain't gonna handle it, then that's how you're processing it. And that's how it's going to be, because that's how you perceive it. And you're gonna just get yourself stuck there. And you only person that's gonna be hurt by this process, this perspective, is you. Because they ain't thinking about it. They just doing a good thing. They doing like they've been doing for all this time. So it's really up to you to improve how you handle yourself with these situations, right?
Well, let me ask you a question. Because I know the situations vary. So let me give you something that, let me see how you take this. Say you have an auntie. She's married to that's a straight asshole. He kicks her ass. He fucks up around on her, go out every night. And the family is like, seriously, boo, come on. But she won't leave this cat for nothing.
Right.
What is the family to do? If they're doing something as a family, do we just don't include her, or how is that done? How do we do that?
Well, I mean, in that situation, I mean, you have to make sure she has a safe place, right? So if you kind of box her out, you're making it unsafe for her, right? You're not
But,
providing that safe place to
but she's not
land.
being boxed out. She's like, she's being boxed in, and
I know,
she
but
wants to be there.
she wants to be there. She's a grown person. So the only thing you can do as a family is embrace, is keep yourself open. Don't shut her down. Don't act like she can't feel comfortable saying something to you or coming to you and being judged. See, she already feels judged, right? Because she's in this bad situation that she's just tolerating willy-nilly, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you have a family that's arms wide open and saying, "Hey, look, we need you for this. You can do this," but she likes, no, I like getting this foot up my ass. What are we to what is the family to say?
You're just supposed to let her do what she does. You're not going to change her getting her foot up her ass. A woman has to come to her own understanding when she comes to it, right? You're not going to change that.
Okay,
All you can do is be a safe place to land, give her some understanding, be supportive of her, and make the line very clear for him that we know what's up with you and you are not cool, okay? Make his environment uncomfortable, but don't let her feel like she's not cool. So you have to be cool with what she's cool with until she's ready to actually face it. People will face things quicker when when you don't judge them. When you judge them, they get defensive.
I don't
I'm
get it.
just saying.
No, I know,
I'm just
I know,
saying.
I hear you, I hear you, but I'm like, I don't get it.
Everybody has to get to a place at their own time. You know what I mean? You can't put your line of thinking on somebody else, unless somebody wants to give a shock therapy or some shit. You know what I'm saying? unless you want to, unless you want to, the brain, get it right, but other than that, I mean, these people are probably massively depressed, and I don't even want to say, but basically, I mean, she has to heal herself. But as a family, you have to be able to just be that soft place where she feels like I can talk to you. I can still feel like it's cool to talk to you without you acting like I'm a crazy idiot. Nobody wants to be seen as a crazy idiot, even if they are.
Oh, I'm glad you said that.
Hmm. Yeah, even if they
Okay.
are.
Gwendolyn,
Nobody
Gwendolyn
wants to see
Reed,
it.
Gwendolyn Reed says we got to keep the emotion out. Now, I see that's, I mean, it's easy to say, but it's
Yeah.
very hard to do. Talk on that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I just think you just have to. I don't know if it's keeping the emotion out, because it's okay to have emotion, but we just got to be fair and just treat everybody. Just wants to be treated fairly and objectively, and just have them have a certain level of respect, even if you're being stupid. I guess people just want a certain level of respect. That's really true. Like, people do really stupid things, and I think that I'm kind of relating that to something I'm thinking about for myself. Even people, when they're doing something stupid, they don't want you to tell them that they're stupid, right? They don't.
All right.
They don't. So the problem with you feeling like you have to tell them that they're stupid is that they shut down, and then you got no communication, and then you severed the relationship. So that's the problem. That is the bad side effect. And I'm guilty of that. Whoa, man, I'm real guilty of that shit. I do that. Because I have very strong opinions, of course. And so when I express that, I don't filter most ever. No, I don't filter. And and with that being the case, like, people will shut down on you. And so you have to weigh the benefits. You have to say, well, do I want to say what I want to say and shut people off? Or do I want to keep the door open and just button my mouth somewhat? Right? What do you value more? Are you into the preservation? Are you into being able to salvage? Or are you just trying to burn and destroy? What's going on? What's your objective?
I don't think it's a burn and I don't think it's a burn and destroy thing, but it's like how I see it, there's strength in numbers.
Mm,
And that's what I'm seeing with all these immigrants coming over here. They're not coming one or two, they're coming in as a fistful of family.
right. So as a family, that's when we have a lot of healing to do as families, right? Because
Right.
because we've have a lot of dysfunction in our families. We have a lot of division in our families. They have done things intentionally to divide the close knit people that we used to be. They've enticed us with money, drugs, distractions, video games, phones, whatever have you, you name it, sex, drugs, drink, I don't know, whatever, television, whatever, the music. They have religion, different societies, clubs. They've divided us in many different ways. So it's really hard for us to kind of get that back together. In order for us to get to the point where we can team up, we got to be able to sacrifice something. And the main thing you got to sacrifice is your ego. Do you got to be right? Do you have to? Do you have to share it? Is it that important? What's the objective? How far are you willing to go to get what you need done? How much do you care that that you win and the family wins? Most important is the family, not you. Are you willing to put the family before you? Are you willing to put the greater good beyond the fact that what's right, what you perceive as what's right? You got to figure that out. Are you looking for the greater good? Are you looking, hey, Brandon? Are you looking for, or are you looking out for yourself and what you feel and what you think and what you want? That's the difference. We have to start thinking a little differently. And let me tell you, and we have to operate out of forgiveness and a little bit of and a lot of compassion, because everybody's not going to grow. So we also have to understand that when it's a losing battle, like they're not going to change. So some of these people that you're feeling like, why don't they're never going to change. Well, you may be in a situation where they will never evolve. This is where they are. This is where they are. And
So
this is
what do
where
you
they're
do
going to
in that
be.
So what do you do in that situation?
Then you have to come to an actual understanding that that's the way they are and accept them.
Okay, but but still move with the plan, right?
You move with the plan. You understand that they may end up dead in the bed one day. You know what I mean? That may good and well happen. They may just get that blow to just you know what I mean? Whatever. If their ass is being beat, they may end up dead. But they're actually willing to do that. And there's no good sense that you can give them that's going to change that. So you need to grieve them, grieve for them, understand that might be the reality, accept it, and keep on moving. Love them where they are. Exactly. That's right. Meet them where they are. You got to just love them right where they are. Exactly. That's exactly it. You can't, that's what you have to do. You help those that you know you can help, because there are people that are evolving people that have the ability to grow, that have the ability to change. And those are the people that you want to expend your energy on. Good management will tell you, you don't spend your time as a manager on the losers. You spend your time on the winners, the ones that already have potential, the ones that have the ability to grow, the ones that have the ability to impact change, the ones that have the ability to contribute. The ones that are dead weights, they're dead weights. They're never going to get themselves together or be productive. You have to understand them
do
where
you
they are
still
and love them where they are.
okay? So when that's dealing with the family, the whole family.
Mm-hmm.
So do you just leave them where they are?
Yeah.
Okay.
You leave them where they are. You're not gonna change anything, and then he is gonna regret. And even if you try to pull it in, if it's a negative situation where somebody's trying to control them, they're gonna try to get in the mix and mess up the family, because they're a crazy, jealous, dividing energy. So by pulling all that in, you're just distracting everybody from what you all should be doing. Deal with the healthy ones. The dead branches have to be snipped off. You know, if they're dead, if there's no life there, if they're not sprouting, you have to understand them. You love them, but you understand what they are. It's a mental process. You mentally will be like, okay, I know, I'm so sorry that they're just about dead. They may go. You have to like grieve for them, and you have to be like, okay, I get it. This is what they've chosen. This suicidal. You can offer them counseling. You can try to get them help. But if they are not willing to do for themselves, you have to understand that's a dead branch. And you're trying to save who's salvageable. Like there's young children involved, then you have to protect the children. Come stay with me. Come stay with auntie. Come stay with somebody. That kind of thing. But you're not gonna help some people that are really not able to evolve.
Before we go any further, I want to share something with the group. And you guys, if you get a chance, you're going to want to check this out. I just put it in the group. It's a YouTube video about the people. If you ever heard of an island called Diego Garcia, it's over there, over by Australia somewhere. It's an Air Force base now, but it shows how the United Kingdom and the United States dog these people out over there. And they look just like your brothers and sisters walking down the street here. And it shows what the United States not only did to them, but does to everybody else. Because if you watch it, you'll recognize some of the stories that you've heard that went on here and went on other places. So the reason when you're listening to the story, and this is why I think the power of healing your family is important. Check out what these cats said. They were When they got kicked off their island, they started killing themselves. They started committing suicide.
Mm.
You know why? This blew me away. They started killing themselves because they couldn't go to the graveyard and speak to their elders anymore.
Mm.
That's some heavy
Mm.
shit, y'all. And that's what I'm saying. When we over here we don't even acknowledge our elders. We'll acknowledge somebody in a desert 5,000 miles away. That's the
Mhm.
kind of stuff we do.
Mhm.
Our great grandmothers, we don't know nothing about them.
Mm-mm.
But we'll talk about some other stuff we know nothing about. And then get mad when you get checked on it.
Mhm.
Seriously? These are the kind of things we do. So this is why, Lisa, what you're saying, the power of healing your families, I
Mhm.
get I
We
just
have to do that. You know, we have to do that because and we also have to understand that we have to get mechanisms of dealing with the dysfunction, because there's a lot of dysfunction, right? And I feel like it's very important for you to, a lot of people are like, well, I'm leaving that alone. But there's a way to deal with it. There's a way to get to a point where you understand the dysfunction so it doesn't destroy you. You know, if you actually can analyze what's going on in your situation, your family, and what the players are doing, and see the hurt that's inside them, because most people who act out and who are very angry and mean-hearted and just digging at you and doing whatever, they're hurting people themselves. Hurting people hurt people, as they say. So these people, you have to see them for who they are, not what they do, not just react to what they do. That's a very elementary way of responding. When you react to what people do and don't sit back and try to analyze why they're doing what they're doing, you're still dealing like a kindergarten with people. You're not evolving in your soul and your spirit. You're not evolving. And you want to evolve. You want to get better at being able to process these things and deal with these people, right? So when you see, okay, they act like this because they're insecure, because they're hurting, because they feel some kind of way about what happened in their lives, or what hasn't happened in their lives, or whatever. So are you going to just say, oh, they're trash and I'm not going to deal with them? No, you're going to understand that they're going to lash out. You're going to expect it. You're not going to personalize it, right? Because when you get the power to understand that this is all them, this is a battle that's within them, that's not you. All that stuff that they're doing, that's really not about you. It's about them. And then you have to make that conscious understanding that this is not personal and it's not about me. So I'm not going to personalize this stupid stuff that they're doing. I'm going to stay focused on the fact that they need help, and I'll be positive with them as much as I can be positive with them. And by you being this positive person in the presence of this negative energy, you create more power for yourself. You generate this ability um, to actually reel in what's negative and turn it positive. And what that does to the energy around you in your life and how it creates is amazing. When you do not take the opportunity to work with the people around you who are giving you hell, you actually are missing out on an opportunity to empower yourself. I don't know if y'all understand where I'm coming from with that.
no, but I know you're going to explain it.
Yeah, because when every time, okay, so okay, these people are troublesome, right? They are they're bullies. Some people are bullies. Some people are just crazy. They got mental problems. They're psychotic. They're bipolar, they're manipulative, they're controlling, different types of personality disorders that you may have in your family. And these people may be targeting you, and repeatedly, right? So, but once you realize that this is what it is, and this is a weakness in them and not in you, narcissist. Oh yeah, yeah. That's a tough one. But yeah, once you realize this is that person's issue, it's their personality disorder that you're seeing. It has nothing to do with you, really. And then you take that whole idea of, okay, look, you just look at them different, like, poor baby. Yes, you got issues. I understand. You're just messed up. Okay. But then when you're able to see them as the victim that they are, then you're able to say, okay, well, like, this doesn't work on me. Okay. But I understand that you're hurting, and I understand you don't have to literally say it. It's all in your head. This is self-talk, right? I understand all this stuff is going on with you, but it's not about to bother me, right? You're not going to let what they have going on impact who you are as a person. You have to stand in your strength. And when you're able to stand in your strength and understand what they have going on, their problems are their problems, and they can stay over there, but you can still love them from a distance. Your ability to do that is going to actually increase all the positive energy around you, because you're taking out all that negative stuff that they're trying to spew out, and you're like, it's okay, babe, here, let me help you. What do you need? I'll come bring you something to eat, or I'll call you and check on you, or do whatever. When you turn all that negative stuff that they're just people emit that negative energy. They just you can feel it. But when you turn that around and be like, look, I don't care what kind of energy you're putting out. Look, all I got for you is,
Did you say something? Can't hear you.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah, so you don't let any of what they're doing impact your flow. And then when you are able to ride it out and consistently keep your peace and keep your positive energy, and despite of what they do, that is a powerful thing. That is a really powerful thing. It is so worth it to get yourself to understand them and see them from a different perspective. That is so, so powerful. You become the victor. You get on top of the situation and you control that relationship. And that's the most powerful thing you can do. That's the most powerful thing you can do. Because that way they can't really hurt you. They can't really mess with your world. Because you understand that that's them. It's all them. And you're actually separating yourself from them without separating yourself from them. That's what that is. Hey, Gretchen. So, that's basically it. I mean, we understand. We've got some people that are so toxic that you do have to be disconnected from. I'm not saying everybody you can do that with. But if you're able to do it, if you're able to let go and forgive, the forgiveness is within you. That is your work. You have the work of forgiveness. And the work of forgiveness is so worth it, because that's probably the most powerful thing you can build inside of yourself, is that energy of forgiveness.
All right. Well, let's talk about generational curses for a moment,
Mm-hmm.
because I have a scenario for you,
Mm-hmm.
and that I'm just watching it rip just a family apart.
Mm.
Some people, they have left, never vowed, never ever to come back home to where they come from.
Mm-hmm.
So you remember, well, I don't know if it's still like that today, But back in the day, when these Europeans were coming over, they would marry into the land.
Mm-hmm.
So they had kids, married a sister from, well, they no, they weren't married. He just had
Sometimes they
kids.
did marry. Sometimes they did marry.
Yeah, but this family
Okay.
didn't marry, left acreage to the offspring. The offsprings were two women and one boy, two girls, one boy. Back
Mm-hmm.
in the day, how the law was set up is everything is left to the son,
Right.
and the daughters didn't. Sisters back then was treated cold.
Mm-hmm.
Now the great 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 grandchildren of the females, they like where our shit,
Mm-hmm.
and that whole family dynamic is just being torn asunder. What should be done in that situation?
Well, I mean, that's like a family battle. But then again, I mean, the thing about people that are indigenous for real indigenous is that the odds are just because they got that, there's more land than that. That's one thing I will say is that so there's always usually more that you don't actually know about. You know what I mean?
Right,
What you think they got may not have been nothing compared to what they didn't get or don't know about. So
right,
that's the other thing. That's the silver lining on all of this. Sometimes we focus so much on what somebody else has, we're not paying attention to what nobody has.
right,
Okay. So like that happened in the Acamax, a bunch of people that have a certain last name were able to claim certain land because they had the surname, but those were the dudes, the descendants of the dudes. I descend from the females.
right,
And so I don't have that continuous surname. So, but I'm still just equally of the same descent, right? Same
right.
strength, same lineage, but just have a different last name. So, I mean, yeah, that happens all the time where you miss out on certain things and they have a certain status and a certain amount of prosperity to this day because they were able to acquire things and kept it away from the ones that from the female side that should have shared in that. You know, that is karmically really kind of crappy for them to do that. Why would you want to cut out your own siblings like that? You know what I mean? That's something they have to deal with the outcome of that, the fact that they did not spiritually honor their ancestors and share with their siblings that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Are there ways that the family that was cut out, because I know it's more than just this physical thing that we're dealing with.
The first way is like what I actually attempted to do with the family and that I mentioned is talk to them, just talk to them and see what they're willing to share, and they may be willing, just like when I talked to the family. I had other fish to fry, but they did discuss uh that as a possibility of conversation. So I mean, that's the first mechanism. Just talk to them and see what they're willing to change, do, share, because you might be surprised. They may have the land, but they don't have the know-how. They may have the land, but not the interest in doing anything with it. They may have the land, but not the daggone people to daggone do something, or not enough people that are able to do something. Not anybody who's of the physical right age. They may have a lot of things, that are that that they need that you have. So there might be a way for you to negotiate. They may have the land but don't got no ideas. Something as simple as that. No imagination, no ideas, no business sense, no will to actually put the work in. You know what I mean? Negotiations are, I think, the first and primary thing that should happen is conversation, sitting down to the table and talking about that.
Yeah, I mean, and you're right about that. A lot of people don't have no They don't have no vision.
Right. You know, but you come with a vision, know-how, and some know-how. That's a very valuable commodity, especially to someone who has no freaking vision, no freaking no know-how, but they're holding on to this land which they can't do anything with.
Yeah, so we got family land, and I'm seeing that in my family. They ain't got no vision. So they're like, what do you want to do? I say, well, let's start growing hemp and let's make hemp paper plates, hemp forks, forks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that shit won't work. I'm like, for real, cuz? Because so I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Eh,
Yeah.
it don't have. I see it.
Right.
I see it. So
But you have to get formal with people. I mean, you got to do more than have a conversation. You have to have a conversation with real goals. You know, the goal of this meeting is to is to make a decision about who's going to control the land. Are we going to have a council formed that we're going to decide what's going to be done with the land, and then how are we going to share whatever is profit is made from the land? You know, like, do constructive. Don't just have pointless, general conversations. Have conversations with a goal attached to that particular conversation. The first goal should be, who's going to, can we form a council to manage the land? It cannot be just one person. That's not fair. We don't want to get into litigation, but let's agree to form a council. That should be the point of conversation number one.
y'all getting this? See,
Right?
these are tips how you can heal your family. It doesn't have to always be animosity. Just have some
Right.
intelligent conversation.
Right. Your family, and you want to keep it that way, and you want to be respectful of each other, but negotiating and forming a council, and then forming a nonprofit for the family is the way to proceed. Okay, and protect, and a family trust. That's the way to proceed with these kind of situations. Okay, it can be worked out. And then, because you have a council and a trust and a nonprofit, then you go ahead and you proceed and say, okay, now what are we going to do with this? Well, you should first of all decide what you want to use the land for. So you have a council, you can vote on that. And then you're going to look for mechanisms to fund this. So you're going to look for grants and stuff that you can actually write for as a group, as a people, as a family. But that's the steps you can take. And when people understand that there are steps in a plan, and you're just not just trying to just grab up some land to do some dumb stuff with, and it's like it's a group effort where everybody shares in the profit, then they change their mind about things. But you have to come with some real collateral, some real information, and like I said, some real steps, not just willy-nilly. You can't just keep talking about the same thing over and over again. There has to be a goal, real goals, real ideas, real plans, real agenda. Does that make sense to people? I hope that's making sense.
Charles Johnson says, so this is a cool one, a rotating council.
Well, it depends on how many people you got. You may not have enough people to rotate, but yeah, you can have a rotating council where it's voted in every few years or whatever. I can't rotate that much, because you need consistency to get stuff done. You know what I mean? If you rotate too much, then what the first group did is going to get dismantled, because everybody else is going to have a new way of thinking, and it's like you're really starting from square one every time. That's why you have presidents that are in office for 4 years and such as that, because you need a certain amount of time to get things done and to create a foundation and to get anything accomplished.
And I'd like to say this too. A lot of times we like to follow and do what other people do, and it very seldom works.
Mm-hmm.
We got to find those things that work for us. We have to find those family ties that work for us, because
Right.
what we do don't work for nobody else.
Right.
And see, what we like to do, whatever somebody else is doing, we want to do. We're not them. That's why it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Why
And
family is important.
family is important. And like today was a couple of members of my family's funeral. My brother and my first cousin, both passed this, had their funerals the same day. They didn't pass the same time, but they had a funeral the same day. And when, one of my family members called me and had a conversation with me explaining that, you know, he really regretted not talking, communicating with my brother, having a closer relationship when he could. We don't realize how short time can be and how much little time we may have or may not have any time, you know. And you don't want to be filled with regret where you hadn't had those conversations that you need to have. You don't want to be filled with regret where you hadn't like built those connections that you should have built. And it really doesn't take much. Our family used to do stuff. My dad used to have had this really like short visit. Like he would go visit people, and I promise you, he would stand up. He would stand up the majority of the time. He would be there maybe a good 15, 20 minutes, man. He may travel longer, like an hour to get there, but he ain't gonna stay all day. He would just make an appearance, you know what I mean? Keep that connection going, lay eyes on each other, be in each other's energy, you know what I mean? But he would make these speed visits where he would just, show up, connect, I'm out. You know what I mean? We're not even showing up and connecting, but we need to do that. It doesn't have to take up your whole life to keep the family connection going. Like I said, all you gotta do is make a speed trip, speed visit. Come in there, hey, how you doing? Yeah, good to see you. I'm glad you're all right. Oh, I don't want to sit down. I ain't got that much time. And then you're out. That means something to people, and it keeps that connection going. Yeah.
Just stop to have a beer and keep going.
Keep
So that's the
going.
way. That's all. You don't have to stay a long time.
You don't have to stay alone to build. And then you don't have to have long conversations either. You can have little short conversations. I know with my cousin, she got a little tick timer in her head. She gonna talk tick, 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 tick. And then she's like, okay, I know exactly when her timer is done. Okay, I can feel it. We're about done at the same time, but we're done pretty early. But you don't have to talk on the phone a lot of time. You don't have to spend a whole lot of time. It's just checking in on people. And that's what they used to do. And we've lost that. We're not checking in on people. We're not having those quick little conversations just to keep our energy bonded together. We got to keep that bond strong. That's what it is. Okay. That's all it is. And then when we're keeping that bond strong, you can keep that trust strong. See? And then if you can build that trust, then you can work together. You can get stuff done. Right? You can't get things done as a people, as a family, if you haven't connected and established a sense of trust and reliability. You have to show and prove that, right? By being that person that says, hey, I'm here for you, and mean it and show it, even if it's 5 minutes. I'm here for you. If you need me longer, I'm here longer, but I'm showing up. That's what I'm expressing to you, that you can count on me to show up. That kind of stuff.
And another thing with those family functions, you can get to see who's who in the family, what each other can do, like who's the strongest physically, mentally, who can get things done.
People have talents and skills you're not aware of.
Every family got some talents and skills, and I don't mean singing and dancing. Every family got somebody. Everybody got something. And these are the people, they're your blood. They run through your veins. Your veins run like the rivers on the planet. You connected with these people. And when you start getting down with the family things of what your people did, where they lived, how they did things, you can move mountains.
That's right. Anything's possible. Anything's possible. That's the thing. So I mean, but you have to heal the way you look at family. You have to look at something that you can over. Somebody has to be chosen to be the bigger person. Somebody has to take on the shoulder the responsibility. You're probably that person, but you're resisting. You're sitting here on listening to all the different YouTubes and gathering up all this information, but you're not willing to step up and make it happen. A lot of times we'll do major things to try to avoid what the inevitable is. And the inevitable thing that we as a people all must do is get together with our family. Because you can't really move forward or really claim anything as far as benefits and rights without your family. You can't have rights as a lonely soul Indian. You have to repatriate your people, your nation, not one person. And that requires you getting back with your family, having conversations with them, Pan-African or not, Hebrew Israelite, whatever their daggone mechanism is. You have to get past that into the family part. It's not about all those other sects and religions and ideologies. It's about family. And we need to be able to agree on that. And as long as you can reach them and let them know that, hey, this is a family thing. Our identity is a family thing, has nothing to do with anything else. And families work together, and families trust each other, and families care about each other, and families try to do right by each other at all times. Can we get there? Yes, we can. We can do it. Is it hard? Heck yeah, it's hard. Are people dense? Are you going to have to talk to them repeatedly? Yes. You have to say it over and over again, explain it over again, because they have so many little tapes in their head that tell them that what they were taught by the European teachers is the truth. They're always going to kind of refer back to it, consciously or subconsciously. So you're going to have to re-educate them back into what is real.
And another reason why it's important to talk to family too, because just like you know things, people in your family know things that you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And they have information that you may need.
Mm-hmm.
You may have information that they need. So that's why the power of healing the family. And like you say, if you just got together, you can pick your own family holiday. Maybe it can be grandma's birthday or grandfather's birthday.
That's an awesome thing to do.
Yeah.
And that honors the ancestors in a really beautiful way as well. That's an awesome way to do it. Good idea.
Yeah. So there's a whole bunch of things we can do. But what we definitely can't do is the shit we've been doing.
We have to move forward, and we have to move forward very quickly. We can't avoid what we want to avoid. Getting together with a bunch of random Indians who actually have the same ideology as you and know that they're Indians, that is easy. But guess what? It don't get you nowhere. Because Indians that are not really connected by blood can't really claim anything together. They can't even do anything. They can't self-protect each other because you're all from different tribes and sub-tribes, or I don't know, say it's nations and sub-nations and you're in places. So for you to sit up there and act like you are all one because you're indigenous, you don't know that person. You don't know his life. He might be a pure European. He might actually be African. You don't know. So for you to vouch for somebody and act like you're a part of something with these people that may be government agents, that may be actual Africans rather, and maybe actual Europeans, you need to be aware of who you're dealing with. And the way you know who you're dealing with is to stick with your family. This is a time for families to organize together. That is what the mission should be. All these other people that are faking that they are you, they need to be wiped out. You can't have these dodo birds pretending that they're indigenous when they're not. We can't have that. But by you going under these kind of indigenous umbrellas, you're welcoming in these fraudulent people. You're giving them a safe place to hide as you. You're also giving them access to your land patents, your land grants. You're giving them an open door. Come on in and take my stuff. Be me.
Can I give an example of that real quick to show how
Sure.
long this has been going on?
Mm-hmm.
Remember Marcus Garvey?
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of stuff we be getting into, and it don't mean shit for you.
Mm-hmm.
We get into all these groups. Nation of Islam,
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with indigenous Americans. But we
Nope.
get into it and act like that's our family. And
Mm-hmm.
your family is back at home somewhere chilling. This is the kind of stuff we do on a daily basis. And this is another thing we got to get out of. When your ass is wrong, you better start admitting that shit.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Because that shit has killed a whole bunch of stuff. You wrong, but you want to beat somebody up because you wrong.
Mm-hmm.
An example, and going back to that Nation of Islam, the Malcolm X thing. Here's a brother evolving. Here's supposed to be a group that understands that, and they killed the brother. Then you got people joining it after that. That's causes confusion. That messes us up. And for you to say, well, I didn't see that. I don't know. Dude, you watching it. You looking at it. So this is how the families are torn apart and how other people can come in and take our stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do come. They do come in and they do exactly that, and they take our stuff. And people are on the march trying to take your stuff right now, right now. And so, if you're sitting up there doing these weird, vague things and getting in league with different people because it's easier than trying to teach your family who they are and get them together and get them to understand you and give them to, have some kind of respect for what you're telling them. Yeah, that is hard. Woo. But guess what? It needs to be done because they're not, your mission should be to save your people. Like if you're don't care about saving your people and you're just getting involved with these groups to save yourself, you're being selfish. We're repeating history right there. That selfish behavior that leaves a hell of a lot of us in detriment. That you're doing the same shit. Joining these little organizations that claim to be able to help you get this, or get your rights, or get your identity, or change this, or get you a biofeed, give you all this, correct your daggone credit. Come on now. That's a business. And it's a business that is run as a religion. They're protected, but you're not protected because they're telling you they're protecting you as an Indian, but you are not going to be protected as an Indian because the only way you can be really protected as an Indian is as your family, going to your roots, discovering the real Indians that you are. That's going to be your real Indian rights. And your rights are amazing and they're very strong, but you have to be in the right yourself. You have to do it the correct way yourself, with your family, with your real genealogy. And then you can win. Then you can go ahead and ride around and do what you want to do and say, look, we're self-governed Indians. We're pre-colonial. We're doing this. Like it's not even a possibility. It's a probability. It's absolute. You have the complete right to do it. Nobody can stop you. And you are guaranteed to win when you do it the correct way. I can tell you that for a fact.
And also just imagine too, all the companies and corporations and all the things we do for other people and we're not doing them for ourselves.
Oh, we have so many gifts and talents and experiences that we can develop anything. And we have this just natural ease with doing new things and creating new things and building new things. We are innovative people. When you see that word, you see our faces splashed across it. That's what we do. We're very innovative. So we need to not to hold back on that.
If you just look at the few images of the brothers and sisters that have created things or coming up with new ideas now, it'll blow your mind.
Mm-hmm. It is. We're constantly innovating and actually inventing things that are just amazing. And also we just see things different. We have a way of looking at a process so that it makes sense. We're very sensible people. We use our common sense. We're logical people, you know. And it's very, and so if you actually sit down and talk to your family, you're going to find out you got a lot of these sensible, knowledgeable, logical people in your family, and you're going to find that you agree more than anything. You agree on most things. Because why? Because you got this common bond. You're not even aware of the fact that you're just going to vibrate and accept it. You know, once you let the walls down. Let me say this last thing. We have to let our walls down where we're defensive against our own families. Once we let our walls down, we will be able to receive these connections and bonds as they're meant to be. Because truly, 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 we have common gifts. We have common ways of thinking. But we deny ourselves that because we don't want to respect one another. We don't want to let each other in. We don't trust one another. And this is what we need to build back: the trust and the respect. And by reaching out and showing how to be right is how you actually become right. See, you're going to have to show how you are, you know, whether it's, you know, you have to sow into each other, you have to share information, you have to trust each other, you know, you have to give out your money in support of what you mean, stand behind what you mean with your family, be supportive of their ideas or opportunities. That's how you gain respect. And that's how people open up to trusting you. Oh, well, she did this and she said she would do this and she did do that. Or he said he was going to come here and do that and he did do that. And it may be as simple as referring somebody to somebody who does construction, or somebody who, you know, puts down floors, or, you know, just being a reliable source. It might be something simple as that. But don't hold on to your information, no matter how big or small. Share your information and see your family as a safe haven for you to share. We don't see us like that. We see each other as who she thinks she is, when really we should say, girl, you really something, girl, get it. I knew you could do it. And not only are you going to do that, but you're going to do even more. And I'm going to be there helping you. I'm going to be there cheering you on and throwing dollars or doing whatever I got to do to support you. That's the way we should be. Now, what's she doing? She thinks no. We need to end that. You want to bury something? You want to put something aside and forget about it? Forget being like that. Forget that. Who's she? Oh, really? Oh, she thinks she's going to do that? I bet it. I don't see that work. Ain't going to work. Oh, yes, she really going to think, you know, all that. All this negative venom, hate, you know, no. What are you bringing into your life by being like that? You're not going to bring any positive energy back to yourself if all you're spewing is, oh, he ain't, oh yeah, he going to start a business. Yeah, okay, right. Well, he can't even, I remember last year he had that problem where he got his car repoed. You know, come on. Stop it. Everybody should be given the respect that they have the opportunity to evolve, and they can evolve. Give each other that much. that much respect where you feel like, you know what? I know he can do it. He can change, he can grow. And he is going to do it. Especially our men. We got to give a lot of confidence to our men. We got to give a lot of support to them. Everybody wants to boost the daggone Indian female up. Yeah, why not? The white man will boost you up in a heartbeat just to keep your man behind. So we have to give a lot of love to them. We have to believe in what they're doing.
Well, Lisa, we've come to the hour. And I want to say thank you for being my date every Friday night.
Yes.
The chat loves you. And I love you as well.
Oh, thank you. I love the chat and I love you. Yes, it's a love fest. And that's what we need. We all need love.
So listen, y'all, like we saying, you know, your family, your mama, you know, moms are always trying to do the right thing, even when they do the wrong thing. And in the world we living in now, you know, it's a lot of sisters go through a whole bunch of bullshit. Be there to support them. And like Lisa was saying, the men too, help these brothers out. A lot of them just don't know. They get caught up in all these groups, and we've all been through it.
Right.
But stick with your family. Because your family, now if you took all the knowledge from your family, from the youngest to the oldest, what you got?
Man, you got everything.
So you guys that are listening, you guys are the impetus to spark those families. Get with your family.
Yes.
See what your family's about. You know, show them some things. They may not know. But once you tell them, they know now. So Lisa, thank you for being with us tonight. I want to thank everybody in the chat for hanging out with us tonight. And we'll see you next time.
Bye. Thank you. Peace out.